Now let's lengthen the left leg straight out in front of you. Pull the right knee into the chest. And take the moment to rotate your ankle in one direction. Doesn't matter which one direction. And then the other. And breathing and relaxing while you do that. I just caught myself tensing up in my chest. There's no need to do that. Relax your body. And then if you want to do a few points and flexes, you can with your toes. And now straightening up the leg. Heel to sky, and pulling the leg in towards your body for a gentle hamstring stretch, keeping that heel extended towards the sky. Reach, 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 and gently pull back. And now bringing the right leg straight out in front of you, bringing the left knee in towards your chest, rotating that ankle in one direction, gently. And the other direction. And point and flex the toes. And now reaching behind the leg, bringing the left heel straight to the sky, left leg nice and long. And then gently bringing the leg in towards your body, hugging it closer in. And breathing and relaxing your body. And now bringing the left leg down, let's put both feet flat on the mat. And let's cross right ankle we're just above the left knee. And we'll pull in the left leg for a figure 4 stretch. So you'll reach behind your left hamstring. If you're feeling particularly flexible and want a little bit more of a challenge, you could reach in front of your left shin. That pulls it in more, that's an option. But if not, behind the hamstring is a great option, and you'll feel a lovely stretch in your right hip. If you want to, you can stay here, or you can tilt both legs as a unit to the left. So bringing the right foot to the ground on the left side, and the left leg will come down closer to the ground. It may reach the ground, it may not reach the ground, but bringing it off to the side for a gentle twist. You can put your arms in goalpost position. You can look straight up at the ceiling. You can look over to the right if you want to. And then as a unit, bringing the legs back to center. And unwinding the right leg and placing the right foot and left foot on the floor. Doing the same on the other side, we'll take the left leg, crossing the left ankle just on top of above the right knee, and then pulling the right leg in, reaching behind the hamstring for figure 4, or above your shin, if that's accessible. And breathing into the hip stretch here, or if you'd like, you can bring the legs as a unit to the right side, putting the left foot flat onto the ground, and the right leg either close to or on the ground. Just relax into the twist. Arms in a goalpost if you'd like. And really just try to relax your body in this pose. Try to get rid of any gripping or tension. Bringing the legs as one unit back to center. And stretching both legs out in front of you on the mat. Reaching the arms above your head. So arms and legs are reaching in opposite directions. We'll do the C shape to the right. So bringing the, taking the left forearm with the right hand and gently encouraging your upper body and arms over to the right. Then taking your legs and encouraging them over to the right as well. So you look like a C shape or a big banana. And in this pose, things that are important is keeping your shoulders, both of them, on the ground. Keeping both hips on the ground. You may have legs side by side, or you might cross left ankle over right. And trying to relax the hips down. Then passing through center. Let's bring arms and legs to the left. Grabbing right forearm with left hand. And making sure your shoulders and your hips are on the mat. Probably enjoying a nice, lovely stretch in your right side body and hip. And if it's not so lovely, then you ease off. And if you would like a little more challenge, then you lean into the C shape a little bit more to the left. And coming to center, let's come to a seated position. And do some neck exercises, neck loosening, making sure that we're sitting on our sitting bones, spine is coming out of the pelvis, crown of the head to the sky, shoulders down and away from the ears, shoulder blades slightly together. And let's tip the chin to the chest. And then tipping chin to sky. One more time, chin to chest if you want. This time you can gently put your hands on the back of the head if you'd like. And breathe. And then release and tip the chin to the sky. Bringing the head back to center. Let's look to the right. Keeping the shoulders down and away from the ears. Pass through center, look to the left. Pass through center right. Pass through center left. And coming back to neutral position. Let's take the right arm, and bring it straight out in front of you with your fingertips pointing down and your palm facing your body. Let's take the left hand and gently push the right hand towards us. Enjoying a stretch in the top part of the wrist and forearm. And then flipping the palm over, fingertips to the floor, but palm facing away. And then pulling back just gently on the right hand with the left hand. Breathing into that stretch on the other side of the forearm and wrist. Switching hands, let's bring the left arm out straight in front. Placing gentle pressure on the back side of the left hand. Palm facing toward us, fingertips to the floor. Then flipping the palm over, palm away from us, fingertips down, pulling back gently on the left fingers with the right hand. And bringing it gently down. Let's get a little bit of gentle movement going through our torso. We'll put the right hand down right beside our right hip and bring the left arm up and over, keeping both sitting bones into the ground, feeling that length from the sitting bone of the left side all the way through the side body and the fingertips. And then gently floating it down and bringing the right arm up and over, making sure you rotate the right shoulder back. So the shoulder's not coming forward, it's leaning back. And planting the right hand down. Let's float it back and forth just a little. So left hand up, left hand down, right hand up, right hand down. Just getting a little bit of gentle movement in the body, torso. Moving things around a little bit. And when you're ready, come to a nice gentle stop. Let's recross the legs just to keep things balanced. We'll take the hands, the arms, and bring them behind us, aspiring to bring the palms of the hands together. So your arms might just be kind of coming together in the same rough general direction, and that's okay. Your fingertips might just touch, that's okay too. Perhaps your fingers are touching, or maybe you can even seal the backs of the palms of the heel of your palm together. Wherever you're at is great. What's nice about this pose is you get that nice opening across your chest and collarbones, gives you a gentle back bend. You probably feel some hopefully good sensation in your arms. If the sensation doesn't feel good, you definitely ease off. And you can stay here if you like, or elongating through the spine and leading with the heart coming over the legs. And then gently rounding it down and relaxing downward. Trying to keep the sitting bones on the floor. If you went over the legs, leading with the heart and coming back up. Let's shake out the arms. Ooh, yep, shake out the arms. That helps. And then bringing the right hand behind your right glute, nice and long in the spine, crown to the sky. Let's take the left arm and bring it to the top of the right thigh. And inhaling and elongating your spine, crown to sky. And then exhale and twist to the right. Looking over the right shoulder or in that general direction. Elongate on the inhale. Exhale and twist. And one more time. Inhale and elongate. Exhale and twist. Then releasing, passing through center. Let's take the left hand and bring it just behind our left glute. Watching our alignments, the spine over top of pelvis, crown to sky, bringing that right hand on top of the left thigh. Nice and long in the spine on the inhale. Exhaling and looking to the left. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. And one more time, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Getting some lovely mobility in the spine. Let's move it back to center. And let's take things to tabletop. So in our tabletop position, making sure that knees are under hips and wrists are under shoulders. Let's start with a bit of a stretch in the leg. We'll take the right leg and bring it out to the right so that the edge of the feet are parallel to the edge of the mat. And then coming up to a kneeling position. You can have hands to prayer position if you like. You can stay here if that feels good to you, or putting the right hand gently on the right leg and taking the left arm up and over into gate pose. Just avoiding the knee. We don't want the hand on the knee. And feeling that lovely stretch from probably about your hip all the way through to your fingertips. And then coming back to a kneeling position. Let's put our hands out to tabletop, leaving the right leg where it is. If this, just having your hands, wrists underneath your shoulders is good, sort of in a partial tabletop, that's great. If you want, you can walk your hands forward, making sure as best you can that hips are over knees. So there's alignment between the hips and the knees. We don't want to be like leaning forward or leaning too much back. And then coming back to full tabletop. Taking the left leg out to the side, left feet edges parallel to the edge of the mat. Coming up to a half kneeling pose. And staying here, or if you want, lifting that right arm up and over and sliding that left hand onto the left leg, avoiding the knee. Rolling your right shoulder back, keeping the chest nice and open. Maybe taking a moment to see where you feel this pose in your body. See if you can relax it all into it. Then coming up to a partial kneeling position. Let's come on to a partial tabletop, leaving that left foot out to the side. And you can either stay in this partial tabletop, or if you want, you can walk your hands forward so that the arms are straight and strong in front of you and that your hips are aligned with your knees. Trying to create a little space between your shoulders and your ears. So you don't want your ears and your shoulders scrunched up to one another. You'd like to have a little space in this pose. And then coming back to a tabletop position. Let's take the right arm and float it up to the sky. And then bringing it down and across your chest, and then bringing the back of your right arm and your right shoulder down onto the mat with your right palm facing up. You can then, if you'd like, take your left arm and bring it straight out in front. And here is a good time to do an alignment check, which may seem funny when you're in this pose, but it's a good idea. So just checking to see if your hips are over top of your knees. If not, you can adjust a little. And making sure that there's space from between your right shoulder and where your head is resting on the mat. So in other words, avoiding neck compression. If you need to pick up your head and just move it a little closer to the top of the mat, you can do that. If you want, you can take the left hand and bring it behind your back and around, and such that your fingertips are touching your left fingertips are touching your right upper thigh. You don't have to do that if you're happy where you are, just hang it there. And if you took the bind, just unwind the left hand and use it to push into the mat and come back to tabletop. Let's do the other side. So this time, left arm up to the sky, and then bringing it back down and across your chest, left shoulder to mat, left hand facing to the sky, right arm straight out in front, checking your hip and knee alignments, that they're over top of one another, checking that your neck is long and not compressed, so lifting up the head and bringing it towards the top of the mat if you'd like, if it feels good. And then if you want, bringing that right arm behind your back and around, fingertips touching your left thigh. This is thread the needle. And then unwinding your right arm if you chose to do so, pushing into the mat, excuse me, and coming back to tabletop. Let's do some good old cat and cow, get some movement into the spine that way. So On the inhale, dropping the belly, pushing into your hands, lifting your chest up, lifting your chin up. This is cow. Then on the exhale, rounding the pelvis, tucking the tailbone, pushing into your hands, rounding the back, getting some muscle action in your abs. And then cow, dropping the belly, pushing into the hands, opening across the collarbones. And cat, pushing into the hands, puffing up the back. Holy cats, it's almost Halloween. So if you can imagine like the black cat for Halloween puffing up its back, that kind of helps. And one more time, cow. And cat. Very good, and back to a neutral spine. And checking our tabletop alignment, wrists under shoulders and knees under hips. We'll now take the right foot and bring it sort of along the right edge of the mat, but so that the toes are facing away from you. The heel is closer to your body, and your heel is aligned roughly with your left ankle. And you can then put the weight into your left hand and take your right hand and place it on your inner thigh, kind of in the middle of your inner thigh. And then gently push back for an inner thigh stretch. So your right leg will sort of be at a 90-degree angle and facing away from you. And coming back to tabletop, let's do the other side. So taking the left foot, toes facing the edge of your mat in that direction, the heel facing aligned to your right ankle. Taking the left hand, placing it on the inner left thigh, and then gently pushing back for a left inner thigh stretch. You can adjust the placement of your foot a little bit. You can heel toe it forward or back as feels good for you, and of course adjust how much pressure you put into the leg with your hand to comfortably challenge yourself. And then back to tabletop. Let's bring the right leg straight behind you and right arm straight in front. Feeling the strength of the right glute and your left arm muscles. And then back to tabletop. Let's extend the left leg and right arm out in front and behind. And back to the mat. One more time, alternating legs. So left arm, right leg. And then if you want, you can crunch it in or just hang out. And then if you crunch, do the extension behind and in front. And tabletop, other side, left leg, right arm. Crunch it in if you like. And then extend. And back to tabletop. And one more time, right leg behind, left leg in front. You can either stay like this, you can crunch it in if you'd like, or bringing the left arm behind you, bending the right leg, grabbing the right foot, and kicking into the hand for some extra strengthening of your right thigh muscle, trying to keep your pelvis parallel to the mat. And then release, front and back to tabletop. Other side, left leg back, right arm in front. You can stay here, you can crunch it in, or you can bend that left leg, bring the right hand behind you, capturing the left foot. Keeping pelvis aligned to floor, kicking into that right hand, being nice and strong and stable in the left arm, and then release, and back to tabletop. Now, let's bring the right leg straight forward into a half Hanuman. So toes facing upward, heel onto the mat. And then rolling it forward, right foot onto the ground, palms face, arms upward toward the sky, fingertips to sky for crescent lunge. If you'd like to bring your elbows down and somewhat together for angel wings to open up the chest, you can do that. Enjoying how that feels. Then bringing the hands down to frame the right foot, tucking the back toes, and coming up to a low lunge. Let's bring the left foot forward in line at the top of the mat, come to standing position, to Tadasana. So feet are hip width apart, taking the time to feel nice and stable in your feet. You should be able to lift up your toes and feel nicely rooted throughout the tops and the sides and the back, like the four corners of your feet, so to speak. And then raising arms up at a 45-degree angle towards the sky, and then sitting down into chair pose. And now bringing the hands down to the mat and stepping the left leg back to a low lunge. We'll now hop the left foot forward just a little bit and bring the toes, so the toes are sort of at a 45-degree angle, pointing towards the left top corner-ish of your mat. Squaring the hips to the front of the mat, bending the right knee, so the right knee is over top of right heel and you can see your right toe. If you can't see your right toe, move your knee over a little bit. Let's bring our hands to high prayer into warrior one. Really lifting up through the arms, extending through the spine, extending through the torso, but making sure that there's space between your shoulders and your ears. Now, rotating your left foot so that it's parallel, the edges of the feet are parallel to the back of the mat. And adjusting your right foot so that the right heel is in line with the left arch. That's for balance and stability. Keeping that right knee bent, knee over heel, making sure you can see that big toe, extending your arms into a T, like someone is grabbing either arm and pulling you in either direction like life often does. Looking over the right shoulder, right fingertips, warrior two. Let's drop the left arm, bring the right arm up and over, peaceful warrior. Back to warrior two. Then bringing your right forearm onto the top of your right thigh. Bringing the left arm at a 45-degree angle out of your arm, reaching forward and slightly up. Keeping the shoulder rotated back, not moving forward. If you'd like, you can stay here. You can drop right hand to the floor and bring the left fingertips up to sky. And if you'd like a little more here, you can wrap the left arm behind your back and have it gently touch your right thigh for a bind. But you don't have to. Any of these is perfectly great. If you took the bind, let's unwind. And then coming back, forearm to thigh, left arm extending 45 degrees forward. And then coming up to warrior two, arms in a T, shoulders down and away from your ears. Let's frame the front foot, come into a low lunge, and back to tabletop. Now for the left side, let's bring the left foot straight out in front so that the left heel is towards the front of the mat, heel on the mat, toes to the sky. Half Hanuman. The hips are square to the front of the mat. Rolling it forward into a crescent lunge. So hips forward, lifting up through your chest and your spine. If you want, you can stay where you are, or you can bring your hands behind you and clasp them behind your butt. Opening across the shoulders, lengthening the arms. Then releasing the hands, having them frame the foot, tucking the back toe, lifting it up to a low lunge. Hopping that right foot forward and coming up to standing. Again into Savasana, so feet are hip width apart, feel nice and stable. You should be able to lift up those toes and feel nice and stable in your feet. Of course, you don't want to keep your toes lifted. It's just a little check to make sure that you're rooted. It's not a requirement for the pose. And then you can bring the arms out at a 45-degree angle as you sit down into the pose, into chair pose. Keeping the knees hip width apart as well. If you'd like, you can bring your hands to heart center. And then if you want, you can take the right tricep and bring it and hook it onto the outer left knee for a bit of a twist. Just a gentle twist. And breathing. Coming back to center, hands at heart center. And then hooking left elbow onto outer right knee, thigh, and gentle twist to the right. Coming back to center and moving into the low lunge on the other side. Sorry, my brain hiccuped a little bit there. So in this low lunge, your right foot is going to be behind you and left knee over top of left heel. Now you're going to hop that right foot forward a little bit and come up to standing, but bending the left knee. So left knee is over top of heel, and you can see that left big toe. Squaring the hips to the front of the mat, arms up into a high prayer, warrior one. Nice and long through the torso, through the side body, arms to sky. Let's bring the hands down. We'll adjust the right foot so that it's parallel. The sides of the feet are parallel to the back of the mat. Keeping that left knee over left heel. Extending the arms out to a T. Nice and broad across the chest. Gazing over the left fingertips. Warrior two. Dropping the right hand, lifting the left hand up and over, peaceful warrior. Back to warrior two, arms in a T, shoulders down. Watching to make sure you can still see that left big toe. Now coming down, bringing the left forearm onto top of the left thigh. If you need to adjust your feet, your stance a little bit, feel free to do so. Bringing your right arm out of your shoulder blade 45 degrees, pointing slightly up to the sky. You can stay here, or you can drop the left hand to the floor and bring the right fingertips straight to sky. You can stay here, or you can bring the right arm behind you, taking the bind so that your right arm wraps around your back and your fingertips touch your left thigh. If you took the bind, bringing the fingertips to the sky again. Bringing the forearm onto thigh, right arm at a 45-degree angle. And then lifting it back up to warrior two. Broad across the chest. And then framing the left front foot with your hands, low lunge. Let's come back down to tabletop. And let's take child's pose. So knees to sides of the mat, feet together, heels onto your feet, and bringing your hands forward and just resting everything down. Taking a breather. Coming back to tabletop. And now from tabletop, let's walk our hands forward just a little bit. And we'll bring the right knee to align with right wrist. Lengthen left leg behind you and into pigeon pose. And in pigeon pose, we're trying to lower our hips down towards the mat and sit squarely onto our pelvis, so not rolling off to the right side, staying square onto the pelvis. If you have and need a little pillow under your right hip, nothing wrong with that. You can grab that. And really lift up through your chest, elongating the spine, looking towards the sky. Probably beyond your fingertips here. And you can stay here, or if you want to come down onto bringing your hands forward, coming down onto your forearms, or all the way down. And really try to relax and breathe into pigeon pose. Trying to stay square on top of that pelvis, not rolling off to the side. And coming back up onto your hands and back onto tabletop. Now walking the hands forward just a little bit. Again, bringing the left knee this time aligned with left wrist. And then elongating your right leg behind. Coming up onto your fingertips, making sure you're sitting squarely on top of your pelvis. Not rolling off to the side, looking up towards the sky. Nice long spine coming up from your chest so we don't have any back compression. And then coming down onto either your palms flat to the mat, your forearms flat to the mat, or coming further down if you wish and can. Wherever you're at is great, and breathe into any tension, sensation you have, never ignoring any pain, always back off if it's too much. There's nothing wrong with that. It's always better to back off if it hurts. It should never hurt. And then coming back to tabletop and coming down to a seat, cross-legged seat. Let's put our hands, palms, face down on the mat, fingertips pointing towards the front of the mat, wrists under shoulders, planting our feet onto the mat, and then lifting up our hips for reverse tabletop. If it hurts your neck to relax your neck down, you can always look forward. That's okay. And trying to adjust to see if your heels are underneath your knees. If you're happy here, you can stay here. Or if you want to try something a little different, you can lengthen out that right leg straight out in front, pointing towards the top of the mat. Down. And on the left side, pointing that left leg straight out in front, toes to the front, keeping the hips up, foot down, and then lower it down. All the way to the mat. I'm conscious of the Jays game, so I'm trying to make sure I'm on time today. Sometimes I'm a little lazy with that, but I'm going to be on time today. Let's bring the knees in, and
it's no big deal. Please carry on.
Thank you. Whew. Rotating the knees in one direction. And relaxing and breathing as you do that. Really take the time to enjoy it. We've worked hard in this class today. We've been off for a couple weeks too, so. And rotating the knees in the other direction. And bringing the knees to a gentle stop. Keeping the knees close to your body, let's bring both knees together to the left. And bringing the arms into a T or into a cactus position, depending on how you feel today. But trying to keep both shoulders flat on the mat. And if you need to, adjust the position of your knees up or down to be more comfortable, then go for that, of course. But trying to relax into this gentle twist. And bringing the knees to center. And taking both knees then to the right for a gentle twist to the right. Relaxing the back onto the mat, relaxing your arms onto the mat. Really just trying to, calm your body in this pose. Bringing the knees back to center. Let's reach in between the knees and grabbing for the outer feet with our hands. And flattening our back onto the mat, pulling down on our feet so that our feet are, parallel to the ceiling. Happy baby. You can rock back and forth in happy baby if that feels nice to you. Or you can just stay as you are. Just making sure that the entire back from top to bottom is in contact with the mat. Our shoulders too. And then bringing the feet and legs together and giving yourself a nice hug. Before we move into Savasana, let's do a waterfall pose. So bringing your hands underneath your glutes, but palms facing downward. And it serves to, when you have them under your glutes, it kind of serves to protect your lower back and support it a little bit. And then bringing the legs straight so that the feet are parallel with the floor. Your heels are reaching towards the sky. Just enjoying the gentle inversion, reverse flow of blood. This is a little bit more active than legs up against the wall, but it's nice to shake things up just a little bit. And you can make this a more active pose if you want to actively encourage the heels to the sky, or you can soften your legs a little bit and just sort of chill in this pose too, and there's nothing wrong with that. Now bringing your legs in close to your body, giving yourself a nice hug. And moving into Savasana. So arms and legs along the mat, legs straight out in front, arms alongside your body, palms to the sky, shoulders down and away from your ears, face relaxed, eyes closed, tongue just gently touching the back part of your teeth on your upper jaw side. Relaxing your face, relaxing your shoulders, relaxing your arms all the way down through your fingertips. Relaxing your back into the mat, allowing the contact with the mat to be a calming force in your body. Relaxing your low back and your glutes and your legs, all the way from the top of your legs, all the way through your thighs and your knees and your calves and your ankles, all the way down to your feet and your toes. And so we've done a little bit of a combination of, deliberately clenching and relaxing to begin with, and some mindful movement to kind of relax and move your body and get into places you probably don't normally get into. We don't normally do pigeon pose in our day, typically. And now just, consciously allowing your mind to relax and your body to relax as you absorb the benefits of your practice today. And with that, let's bring our feet to the mat. Rolling onto one side, using your arm as a pillow. And then pushing up into a seated position.